What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and another video on the Corsa C. Now today we're going to be tackling the anti-roll bar. So I've been getting some knocking noises, some squeaking noises, and I'm pretty sure that my anti-roll bar bushes need changing. I know both of the drop links need changing because the boots on them have actually split and there's grease coming out of them. So I'm going to be changing them, but I'm going to be changing the actual bushes and also the brackets that they sit in as well. Now I know for a fact that is the original ones that are on there, and the car's done 85,000 miles. So, you know, it's just as well to change them anyway. And then I'm pretty sure, fingers crossed, that should be like every suspension component replaced. But yeah, I'll just show you what they look like with the bushes. So that's essentially what they look like. The anti-roll bar goes through the middle of them, and they kind of like split apart so you can kind of get them over the roll bar. But I'm not just going to be replacing the bushes and the drop links. I'm actually going to be attempting to remove the whole roll bar and kind of like refurbish it. So I'm going to be like taking any rust off it, sand it all down and give it a fresh coat of paint. And I've actually got some paint over here as well. Just got this Simonez tough paint, gloss black. So yeah, I'm going to be giving it a coat of this, and it should just be, you know, a decent job after. Obviously after, when you put the new bushes on and everything, you've got to put copper grease in them to stop like your squeaks and that. So yeah, I've never done this before, so it's going to be interesting to see what issues you run into. I'm pretty sure I've got to like drop the back of the subframe down. So that's going to be interesting. I'm sure we're going to run into a lot of rusty bolts and things like that. So yeah, we'll see how we get on anyway. Okay, so we have the car up in the air on jack stands. Now I've just got like a jack at the front. It's not actually touching the subframe, but it's just there as a safety precaution. Both the wheels are off, and should have pretty good access to get underneath now. Now the anti-roll bar actually goes over the top of the subframe, and it's that thing right there. And pretty sure the bushes, I can show you, are there. Pretty sure that's the bush there, and it's got like a bracket that goes over the top of it. Now there's two bolts, there's one either side, but access is not going to be great, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to like drop this subframe down a little bit, take these two bolts out, and yeah, that should give us the access that we need. Okay, so I've just got a crowbar here, and I'm just going to show you how much movement's actually in the anti-roll bar. So that's the movement in the bushes, that is. See how much that's moving? It shouldn't be moving like that. So I've just got the crowbar, put it in between the roll bar and the wishbone. I'm just levering it up. It shouldn't be moving like that. Okay then, so a little update. Ignore what I said about that bolt, and that bolt. Or was it that bolt? I don't know. It's actually the two outer ones which connects the subframe to the actual chassis. So it's that one there, which I've sprayed with some WD-40. Don't know what that's going to do. And that one there, and I think that's it, and that should lower the whole subframe down with the steering rack, with the anti-roll bar, just as down as far as the exhaust. I hope that's going to give me enough clearance. This one with the gearbox mount, I'm hoping that'll just kind of pivot down with it. I'm hoping. So next job's going to be to take these two out, and we're going to support the subframe around here with the jack, and we'll see what happens when we take that bolt out and before it all just like comes crashing down, but we'll soon find out. Oh, and in case you're wondering what socket size it is, it's a E18. Yeah, you can't see that, but There you go, E18. Got the other one out too. Okay then, so a little update. I have undone both of the drop links from the struts on both sides. Just check out how floppy that one is. That's definitely shot. Right, now it's just going to be a case of trying to access these bolts. Okay, and so I'll just explain the situation at the moment. So I have removed both of the bolts at the back of the subframe that you saw me do earlier, and have actually not completely taken out but loosened the bolts at the front of the subframe to allow it to drop down just that little bit more, to give me a little bit more clearance to access the bolts. The bolts that bolt the anti-roll bar bushes to the subframe. Now you can see I've got one of the bolts out on this side, and I've got the rear bolt out on that side as well. And yeah, clearance isn't the best, but I found what worked the best was using a ratchet and socket, and it's a E12 I believe, yeah, E12. And just undoing it like halfway until you run out of clearance with the ratchet. And then I went ahead and used a ratchet spanner, just a 10mm one, and as long as it was loose it didn't slip off, but I found I had to keep winding it in and out with the ratchet, and then keep spraying WD-40 and wire brushing the threads because it did get a bit gummed up. So yeah, the rear two are out. It's just going to be a case of getting the front two bolts out now, and then this should all come loose. I've just undone the back one. I'm going to tighten it back up again. Right, so the roll bar is actually loose now. I haven't actually took the back bolts out, but it's on the bracket, they're not actually holes, they're just kind of slots. So I've just undone them halfway, and I can just undo them properly after. But yeah, the roll bar is actually loose now. It's just going to be a case of figuring out how to get this out. Right. The old, or one of the old drop links off. As you can see at the top, boot's all split. Turn all the grease out. Right, let's get the other side off, and then we'll try and get this roll bar through. Okay then, so we have the anti-roll bar completely out. it's time to get this thing cleaned, sanded down and painted. I'm only going to be doing a rough job because obviously, you know, you don't really see it, but should be a lot better than how it is now, because you can see it's bubbling up and rusting in quite a lot of places. So just give it a good coat of protection. And just for reference, here is the old bush that was on the roll bar, and here's the new one. So you can see it's quite worn. There's quite a bit of difference there. So obviously there's two. One sits about there, the other sits about there. And yeah, let's get this thing painted anyway. Let's get this thing prepped, sanded, cleaned, and get it painted so it can be drying, because I do want to get this back on today. Okay then, so I've gave the anti-roll bar a good clean. It's degreased now. It's you know, it's fairly clean, but like I said, it hasn't got to be perfect. And yeah, basically I just want to at least take off the flaky paint, because what's going to happen if I literally just paint over that, it's just going to flake straight off. So yeah, I've got some 120 grit sandpaper here, and I'm going to go ahead and do the best I can with this. So yeah, let's get started. Okay then, so I would say that I'm happy with this now. So the parts where it's rusted and the paints came off, that's pretty much flush. And I've just like scuffed up the rest of the bar, because obviously paint doesn't really adhere to like a smooth surface, so you want to always scuff it up. So yeah, it's pretty much done now. I'm just going to give it a wipe down with a sponge just to get all the excess dust off, and then I guess we'll just find somewhere to hang it up and we'll give it a paint. Okay then, so I've gave the anti-roll bar about 5 or 6 coats of paint now, and like I said, I'm not really going for perfection, but already like it looks so much better. And because of the time constraints that I'm working to, obviously I want to get it back on the car today before it gets too dark, and you're supposed to like let it cure for 24 hours. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the car today. Obviously it needs to be on the car today. I have to go to the gym, I've got to go to work tomorrow and everything. So yeah, so I'm gonna use a hairdryer and yeah, just dry it as best as possible before it goes back on the car. And I'm not sure yet if I'm going to be putting the drop links on before I put it on the car, if I'm just going to go like put the bushes on and everything and then put the drop links on. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet, but I guess I'll decide once it's all dry anyway. Okay, and so while I wait for the anti-roll bar to dry some more, I'm going to go ahead and get the new bushes ready. Now, there's different opinions on this. People say you should just put the bushings in dry, you know, you don't need to put any sort of grease on or anything. Other people recommend copper grease. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put copper grease in because it just doesn't seem right to put a bar that's going to be rotating in a dry rubber bush. Like, it's just going to cause squeaking, it's obvious, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put some copper grease in it. Okay then, so the new bushes are on the anti-roll bar with plenty of grease. Only thing is, there's a gap and it's not squeezing together, so I'm hoping when the clamps are on and the bolts are in, that's going to push together and seal it up, but I have to wait and see. Okay, so been a pretty stressful last like half an hour or so, but we're on the home straight now, so I'll just explain what we did. So it was just like so awkward just to get the anti-roll bar, trying to remember the way that it went through, because you have to kind of navigate yourself over the steering rack, over the subframe, and it's just like so awkward. There's like no access whatsoever. And then, like I said earlier, how there was a gap with the bushes, and that meant that the clamps that go over the top of them, the brackets that go over the top of them, was like super tight, and to get two bolts in, it's just like so difficult. But I'll just show you. So the new bushes and brackets are on there. You can see some shiny metal. That's the other side, done up nice and tight. Drop links are on. They're not tightened up yet though. I'm just tightening up the subframe first. Both of the front two bolts, they're tight. Just need to put these back ones up, and then I'm going to work on the drop links. And we are done. Both of the new drop links fitted, all tightened up. Job's a good one. Filthy. Right, that's it, job done. I've tied it away as well. It's been a long day. I've hardly even eaten today as well. I've literally just had like cereal. Yeah, I need a good meal in me. Job is done. This is usually the part where I say it's taken way longer than it should have, or way longer than expected. And to be honest, it hasn't. Like, I actually expected it to take a whole day. That's why I designated a whole day to do it, because I just know it's going to be like really fiddly and awkward. Obviously I had to lower the subframe, and you know, there's a lot of rusty bolts and bolts not going in the right place and all this. So yeah, I'm about done. I'm honestly knackered, but I've still got to go to the gym today. But yeah, I'm going to end this video here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, and hopefully you have learned something from it. And if you have been following along with the intention of doing this yourself, then hopefully it's been somewhat helpful. So yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching. Please remember to give this video a like. It really does help me out. Leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in that next video. Peace!